Hi everybody, I'm Sergi K. Kilembi and thanks for joining me for this weekly US market reports. Time to trade the markets, the week ahead, perspectives and analysis. First, we're going to have a look at the economic calendar. Second, we're going to have a look at earnings. Third, we're going to have a look at some news. And fourth, we're going to look at the sectors. And finally, we're going to go ahead and make some technical analysis and have a look at the price action on some assets. Okay, so let's start here with the economic calendar. The week is for the Monday 31st of July until the Friday 4th of August, and on the end of the month. And now here we're gonna have a look at the major countries, and we're gonna focus on the very important macroeconomic data. First of all, today on Monday, July 31st, in China, we have the NBS manufacturing PMI from July. You see the actual number. The number already been done, already been released, and the number was actual number was 51.4. Next, in Europe, unemployment rate for June 9.1%. Next, on Tuesday, August the 1st, we have the Caixin manufacturing PMI from July. In Australia, we're gonna have the RAB interest rate decision. That's the Reserve Bank of Australia. Next, in Germany, we're going to have the unemployment change from July and unemployment rate for July. Next, in the European Union, in the EU, we're going to have the GDP growth rates quarter-on-quarter / Q2 and GDP growth rate year-over-year / Q2. And in the United States, we're going to have the ISM manufacturing PMI from July. On Wednesday, August the 2nd, 2017, first of all, in Japan, we're going to have the consumer confidence from July. In Switzerland, we're going to have the consumer's confidence Q3, and in India, we're going to have the RBI interest rate decision. That's the Reserve Bank of India. And in the US, we're going to have the ADP and employment change from July. And back in the Eurozone, we're going to have the ECB non-monetary policy meeting. Okay, so that's it for your economic calendar. And remember, on the crypto sites, on between today at midnight and tomorrow, Tuesday, August the 1st, we're gonna have a decision of the Bitcoin hard fork. Okay, so we're gonna see what's gonna happen. What's gonna happen then? Okay. Now let's have a look at earnings. We're gonna have a look at earnings, and over here I'm gonna only focus on the company with big impact, great importance. Okay, the week is for the July 31st until Friday, August the 4th. So on Monday 31st, we have Dorian UCP. Tomorrow, August the 1st, we're gonna have Apple, CME, great companies, Crestwood Equities Partners, Eaton in outside of the US, Ecolab, Emerson Electric, EOG Resources, Evertech, Pfizer, Philips 66, Regional Management, Rubicon Project, Simon Propriety Group. August the 2nd, we're going to have Aero Hive Networks, AIG, very important, Ashford, Hospitality Prime, Castlike Health, Core Energy Infrastructure, Dominion Resources, Exelon. In Italy, we're going to have a race, that's Ferrari. Back in the US, Fidelity Guarantee Life. In the UK, Genco Shipping and Trading Limited, Global Brass and Copper, and on Armstrong, Sub and NBL Infrastructure Capital, HCI, KCG, Ladder Capital, MetLife, Mondelez International. In the Netherlands, NXP Semiconductors, Occidental Petroleum, Prudential Financial, Q2, Rudolph Technology, Southern Coal, Tesla, very important. And what else? Time Warner, Transenterix, August the 3rd, Activision, Blizzard, Aitna, Allergan, Amber Road, Irish Commercial Real Estate, Bedco, Dickinson and Company, Channel Advisor, Cognizant Technology Solutions, Continental Building Products, Cooper Standard, Duke Energy, Enterprise Product Partners, Installed Building Products, Intercontinental Exchange, Kraft Heinz, Natural Grocers by Vitamin Cottage, PennyMac Financial Services, Remax, Regeneron Pharmaceuticals, Tricora Resources, UMH Properties, US Physical Therapy, and on Friday, August the 4th, AON in the UK, and back in US, we're gonna have Berkshire Hathaway, very, very important, and Cigna, Essence, and Graham, GHM. Okay, that's it for this week earnings. Okay. Before going to the earnings, we're gonna have a look at some news. We're gonna have a look at what's happening in the markets. We are in markets in businessinsiders.com. You see the market right now. The Dow is up, S&P 500 is down, Nasdaq is down, gold is down, oil is down, euro dollar is down, pound dollar is down. And what's happening right now? You see a Tesla here, a picture of Elon Musk with the Model 3. Elon Musk put the focus exactly where it should be, Tesla employees. Okay, news on Whole Foods. You see when you have news on Whole Foods, directly you think about Amazon. So take a look at that. Stocks do nothing. Here's what you need to know. So that's another articles. So here in the stocks on the on Friday, see that's the close on Friday. Best performance stocks for the last trading session for last week was Chevron, United Growth, American Express, Travel Comp, and Intel. Bad performance for McDonald's, Apple, DuPont Thermal, General Electric, and ExxonMobil. So here, let's see, talk about boutiques here. Another one in the middle, Amazon wants to install delivery lockers in your apartment building. Here, Macari, Twitter won't ever grow its audience. You see, Twitter have great problems on how to capitalize and how to monetize the platform. That's one of the reasons you see the price of the stock price at that level. So that's it. Okay, let's continue now. Commodities. Here, oil extends gains on track for biggest weekly rise this year. Italy, ENI confident of dividend even with lower oil prices. ENI, Exxon, Marathon. So you see, you have a lot of focus on oil because now the oil prices are rising. And next, we're gonna have a look at the technical analysis. You see, oil the crude WTI crude can go back towards the $50 a barrel. And here, U.S. coal exports soar in boost to Trump energy agenda. On the currency side, here, Bitcoins and Ethereum, as always. You see, is what the gambling markets are saying about the next week big Bitcoin decision. You see, that's tomorrow, between tonight and tomorrow. And Brits are more worried about state of the economy than any point since the Brexit votes. That's affecting the pound, the British pound. And the SEC just dealt a big blow to the oldest trend in cryptocurrencies, but Asia is cheering. That's a picture of a ethos. So you have Bitcoin and ethos on focus. On over here, the bonds, all the yields are down. Here you have the rates. And over here, what an article about Janet Yellen in the picture over here at far left. The Fed's plan to start shrinking its balance sheet could have unforeseen consequences. You see, the Fed, they say that they're gonna start selling and on October, this fall, okay? In the middle, we have consumer spending propels economic growth in the second quarter, but by less than expected. And far right, Citi just drew an eerily reminiscent parallel between student loans and the subprime mortgage crisis. And finally, ETFs. You see over here, the ETFs are the performance of the ETFs by quarter, by semester, year, and 3 years and more. And what do we have? We have a Japanese doctor who studied longevity and lived through 105 years, said it's if you must retire, do it well after 65. There are 3 big things to understand about investing if you want to make money in the stock market. And a 13 billion hedge fund is sounding the alarm on one of the biggest trends in investing. So that's it for the news. Remember, cryptocurrencies, Tesla, Amazon, Whole Foods, and oil. That's what we have seen. And now let's go have a look quickly at the crypto world. We're gonna have a look at crypto Worldcoin index, and now you see Ethereum is back in the first spot, second spot for Bitcoin, third spot for Litecoin. On the fourth position we have Ripple, and fifth position it's for Ethereum Classic. So we're gonna focus on those on those four cryptocurrencies when we're gonna have a look at some technical. We're gonna make some technical analysis here. We're gonna look at Bitcoin dollar, Ethereum dollar, Litecoin dollar, and Ripple dollar. Okay, so that's it. Let's go quickly. Yeah, because the market's gonna open in 2 hours, so I won't last too long here. So now here, that's your S&P 500 sectors map, and you can see that past week was let's say bad for technology. Services overall 70% good, but bad week for Amazon and Comcast. Basic materials was a, let's say, was a good week because oil was going back up, but a bad week for ExxonMobil. Healthcare, bad week for healthcare, bad week for utilities. Industrial goods, yeah, let's say bad week for industrial goods, but a great week for Lockheed Martin, Raytheon, Boeing, and Caterpillar. Consumer goods was a 50-50 week, bad week for Apple, Philip Morris, and stuff like that, but great week for Procter & Gamble, Coca-Cola, Pepsi, and yeah, and that's it, And next, on the financial side, yeah, financial was the best performing sector. See, a great week for everybody except in the credit services industry. Bad week for Visa, Mastercard, American Express. Investment in the investment bank industry was doing great, and the money center bank industry was doing great except for Wells Fargo. Okay, so that's it. Remember that this week we're gonna have Berkshire Hathaway and AIG. In the over here, the property and casualty insurance industry, they're gonna publish. Yeah, also we're gonna have MetLife also, and Prudential. I said MetLife, and next Prudential also they're gonna release. And over here, if I do remember, yeah, you have Pfizer. Okay, so that's it for your best known and great company of great renown. Okay, so that's it. Now let's have a look at the ETFs. You see the indices, yeah, flat week for the US indices, fixed income in parallel to indices. What do we have over here? Kind of looking down a little bit, but it's also flat. The sectors, you see healthcare, a bad week for sectors, technology, bad week, industrial, bad week, utilities, bad week, and basic materials, bad week. US volatility almost flat, but the VIX is still down. And small caps, bad week for small caps. Mid caps, bad week for mid caps. And large cap was a 50-50. The value was great, but the growth is flat, near to bad performance. On the international side, everything looks green, but nothing above 1%. China, yeah, near 1%, India near 1%. On the global miners, great week for the GDXJ, the GDX, a great week for over here. You see the global gold miners, and the JNUG also a great week for them. Bad week for here for the dust and for the JDST. Next, commodities, GLD great, USO great, and that's it. Okay, so now finally, let's begin and let's go on. We're gonna go quickly, because now over here in Europe, yeah, the market's gonna open in less than 2 hours, so I'm gonna last too much. Okay, so I can upload the video quickly, and you can have your market insights. Okay, the Dow Jones, you see last week, great bullish week above the resistance. You see over here the resistance of 21 21,700 above that, close at 2100, close to 21,000, excuse me, 21,850. We're going towards the 22,000, Dow Jones 22,000. That's what I'm expecting. So, I'm expecting more move towards the upside, but I'm still concerned about the gap over here. But that's it. The market choose to go higher, so we're gonna go with the trends. The trend is towards the upside, so we remain bullish on the market. Now let's have a look at the NDX directly. We're gonna have a look at the Nasdaq 100, and over here what can we see? Indecision week for the Nasdaq 100 over here. Take a look. What do we have? We have a doji. Okay, a doji over here. That's indecision. You see, we rejected the 6,000 points and closed below last week. And what do we have? Now we have a type of that's a type of inside week candle for last week. So now what do we expect? We can see, you see over here you have your 4 weeks moving average. Maybe the markets can go back, interact with that particular moving average, and then let's see if we can go higher. But what's going to be the great catalyst over here? We're expecting the Apple earnings. So that's it. We're gonna have great moves. You see that Apple is a big player, so that's it. I'm expecting whether the earnings gonna be good or bad, but I know and I'm sure that the Apple's earnings gonna be great. They're gonna beat expectation, and also remember they will have the launch of the new iPhone 8. It's coming soon, maybe at the end of the month or in September. So for this fall we're gonna have the iPhone 8. So that's it. Okay, and next directly, let's have a look at S&P 500. Okay, over here, S&P 500, bullish week, but a bullish indecision type of candle. See, type of bullish doji, exactly the same thing. You see, we're going nowhere. We are back at the region of last week close. See, interaction, we rejected higher prices, we rejected the 24.83 and trying, and on the lower sides closer to the 24.58 region, and that's your 4 weeks moving average region. So we try to interact with that. So I'm expecting more moves toward the more horizontal move. We're gonna go range, we're gonna be in that particular range, sideways trading, sideways movements, and I'm expecting more volatility, you see. So that's it. Now let's have a look quickly. Let's have a look at the VIX volatility index. Let's have a look at volatility, and you see volatility, you have huge spikes, a doji also. You see the range, the low points at 885 and the peak higher, you see, at 1147, and that's huge. We still remain in the inside week type of candle for 1, 2, 3 weeks in a row. You see that great bearish candle over here. We're still in that particular range between 12 for resistance and 9 as support. So I'm expecting great volatility this week. So look, we already we have the 4 weeks moving average acting as support, 8 week moving average acting as support also. We are just on the 13 weeks moving average, and as resistance over here we have your 21 and 26 moving averages. So we're gonna have a lot of sideways movements, but with a lot of volatility. Remember, we have a great gap over here above 1230, between 1230 and 1450. So that's a huge volatility. You can see spikes at any moment. So you're gonna be careful and be prepared. Okay. Next, let's move on. Now, let's have a look at the Russell 2000. Okay, Russell 2000, here small caps, Russell 2000, and over here, what do we have here for the Russell? And yeah, you see you have that type of doji type of candle, that type of shooting star over here, as you see, and that's a bearish trap also. Long tail reaches the 1452, then close lower inside wick type of candle in you see, if we if we put that candle, that bearish candle, in relation with the last candle, that was a bullish candle, we are in inside wick type of formation, and close just right above the 4 weeks moving average. And if we have a continuation, we can go lower and reach the 8-week moving average. That's your 1420 region. Okay, so that's it. Maybe more moves toward the downside for the Russell 2000. And now let's have a look at the bonds. Quickly, the treasury notes, the 10-year treasury notes. Okay, boom, that's it. And let's have a look over here, what happened over here. And nothing. Sideways movements. See, inside wick type of candle for second week. And what can we see over here? We see a huge convergence of all moving averages. You see, close right between and at the convergence points of the 4 weeks moving average and 8-week moving average. You see over here 21 weeks moving average as support, 26 moving average as support also, and right above the price, what would we have at 126.10? We have our 13 weeks moving average. So now you see that we came back. You have over here, you have your channel, and we came back to retest the channel's supports, now acting as a resistance. You see your 52 weeks moving average, you see acting as a resistance. But what I'm expecting now, maybe we can go lower and we can come back towards the 125.5 region over here. So maybe first of all, we're gonna see sideways movements, that's for sure. And next, gonna be careful, you see, because we have that particular point, the 126 and as resistance, and 125.5 as support. So we're gonna be trading between that range, but we need a direction. If we can go higher and have a close above 126, let's say 40, we can that means that we are back in our uptrend channel, and next maybe we can go towards the 127 region. You see, that's the region of your 208 weeks moving average. Okay, now let's have a look at your treasury bonds, your 30 year, oh yeah, excuse me, US here 30, and where's the bond futures? Okay, over here. And here, what do we have over here? Exactly the same thing. You see inside wick type of candle, and let's see, you see all the moving averages over here. Over here you have a convergence between your 8-week moving average in blue, and in red that's your 13-week moving average. On the lower side, what do we have? You have your 4 weeks moving average, and next just below you have your 21 weeks moving average, and over here your 26 moving average. You see the price is in between the 21 weeks and 26 week. So that's it, and we remain in a inside wick type of candle. The momentum is still bullish, and maybe, let's say maybe that's a, you see over here you have your uptrend channel support acting as a resistance. We retested that level and we rejected that level. You see over here you have your 52 weeks moving average, and maybe that's a B, C and looking for a D over here. So let's say now we can have that type of movement. Okay, maybe now we can go lower, rejection, and you see going back. Okay, that's what I'm interpreting. That's what the price action is telling me. And so now let's see how it's gonna play out. Okay, next, now we're gonna have a look at the Dixie, the DXY. That's your US dollar index. And what's happening with the US dollar, you see remain very bearish on the US dollar. You see over here, take a look at the movement. You see all the way, you have all of your moving averages acting as resistance now, pushing the price down. You see over here you have a convergence with your 52 weeks moving average, and if your 52 weeks moving average starts to point down, that's going to push the price even lower. You have your 4 weeks moving average pretty close, and you see the target we had for the US dollar was 93, but over here if you take a closer look, what do we have over here at 91.89? That's your 208 moving average, and this one is going to track the price. And you see over here we have a peak. We already visited and interacted with that particular region over here at 92. Let's say that 92 is our next target. You see over here you're marking a little pause. You see that's a pause in your downtrend momentum. You see that already happened back here. So now I suspect that's a little doji to be just a little pause, and in next week, or maybe this week, or maybe next week, we're gonna see another bearish movement. Okay, so that's it. So I remain bearish here on the US dollar. So for you guys, or your when you're trading your forex, your euro dollar, your cable, your pound dollar, your dollar yen, your dollar yuan, you know what to do. Okay, so now let's continue, and now let's move on. Let's go to the energy sector, and now let's analyze the crude oil. Crude oil has a tremendous and great bullish week, as you can see over here in the charts. You see over here your downtrend channel. You see here support, resistance, support, resistance, support, and now we are back over here at the resistance, break above the resistance. You see all the moving averages. Let's see, that's your 108 moving average, that's your 8 weeks moving average, that's your 13-week moving average. Over here convergence between the 4 weeks moving average and 21 weeks moving average, and another convergence over here, that's your 52 weeks moving average, and in black that's your 26 weeks moving average, close above that particular point. Now you see that's just the opening, and I'm expecting that's a huge, that's a great bullish, that's a strong bullish candle. I'm expecting more moves towards the upside and a continuation, but you see the target and the mark, that's your $50 a barrel. That's a psychological level, so we need to break it to close above. You see over here we rejected it, but now we are above all moving averages, and now the moving averages are acting as a support, and you see your 4 weeks moving average pointing towards the upside, more than a 45 degrees. So that's an indicator, a great indicator that your moving average is gonna go back towards the $50 a barrel mark, and next your 53. So I remain very bullish on the crude oil. Okay, so that's it, but you have to be careful over here. We need, I repeat, we need a close above $50 a barrel. We need a continuation of that particular strong bullish candle, and next we can go higher. That's it for your WTI crude oil. And now let's have a look at gold. we're gonna have a look at precious metals. Now gold, you see strong week also for gold, back at 1270. You see over here that particular pivot point at 1282.50. That's our target. You see over here we have a little gap at 1285. So I'm expecting to see more moves towards the upside. You see, if the dollars continues to fall, then we're going to see commodities, and in particular energy commodities, all commodities are going up, okay, because they're priced in dollar. If the dollar falls directly, we're gonna see more bullish movements in commodities, especially in gold, silver, and in the petroleum, and in this case the crude oil, the WTI. Okay, so that's it. So now the market is already open in the in gold, and I'm expecting to see more moves towards the upside. And as you can see over here, all moving averages are acting as a support, so maybe that's the push that we need to go upside. My target is 1290, and first of all here, first target 1280.81, 1282, then fill the gap at between 1250.85 and 1287, and next my big target for before going to 1300, we need to clear up the 1290. Okay, so that's it for gold. Now let's have a look at silver futures. And with silver, exactly the same thing. You see over here your downtrend channel. Now we are at the channel resistance, and we need to go above. But over here you only have the small denominations, moving averages over here, 4 weeks moving average in convergence with the 8-week moving average, and over here 13 weeks moving average. And take a look over here, that's your 52 weeks moving average. We need a close above, and right above that at 17.095. What do we have? We have your 21 weeks moving average, 26 weeks moving average, and that's your 52 weeks moving average. Excuse me, that's your 104 moving average over here, back here, as acting as a direct resistance. And over here, that's your 52 weeks moving average and your 208 moving average. So you see that's a pivot point over here at 1760. So we need to go back there. So that's a target. But first of all, you need a close above 1720, next 1740, and next 1750 and 1760. Okay, so that's it. So let's see if we're gonna go above the 1681. Okay, and now let's continue, and now let's have a look at, finally we're gonna close with cryptocurrencies. And now let's begin with Bitcoin versus the US dollar. You see the Bitcoin in inside week moving average. That's a great bullish flag. You see originating over here in point A to point B. That's your resistance, max resistance. You see the retracement, correction, Fibonacci retracement, almost a 50%. You see over here we interact with the 21 weeks moving average and 26-week moving average. That's your flag over here, your bullish flag. And then we came back higher very quickly towards the channel's resistance, towards the max resistance at near 3000. And next we have another bullish flag over here, and you see the 50% of that big bullish candle was at 2400 region of the 13-week moving average. And now we are forming a little triangle over there and up there, and we are remaining bullish. You see that we are expecting a great catalyst. We already know what's going to happen between the July 31st and August the 1st, and we're going to see fork, yes or no, with the fork and the The consequences can be two Bitcoins, the BTC, and that's your Bitcoin Classic, let's say, and the BCC is going to be your Bitcoin Cash, the new Bitcoin. So we're going to see if that's going to happen or no. You have a lot of news in the on the web talking about that, so at your own discretion you can take a look at that and research that. Okay, but the projection, if everything is fine with Bitcoin, and if all that is happening right now is, let's say, positive for the Bitcoin, that's the projection I have for Bitcoin. Let's say in 2 months, between October and November, we can see Bitcoin reaching 4,000. Let's see why. You see over here the inception point of that particular ABC movement was the point A at, let's say, at $1,000, the point B over here at $3,000, and you see next the correction of 50% here at $2,000. That's your support at the region of the 21 weeks moving average, and then we are going back towards the upside, first of all towards 3,000, and then you see between point A and point B, that's a $2,000 movement. So if the point C and point D, the second leg has $2,000 as its inception point, you see, for that second leg. So the projection of $2,000 gives us a Bitcoin at $4,000. That's simple technical analysis, you see, just like that. So we can see that, you see, between point A point B, that's almost a 2 month. So maybe from point C to point D, that's another 2 months. But now you see that the great catalyst is gonna be what's gonna happen tonight, between tonight and tomorrow. Okay, past August the 1st, we're gonna see what's gonna happen. But if it's positive for the Bitcoin, we're gonna see Bitcoin 4,000. Okay, and now let's continue. Now let's go to the ethos, yeah, Ethereum versus the US dollar. And over here, you see we are far from our max high at $420, and now we are here inside week candle. Like for a month, we are going nowhere, between 124 as support and 255 as resistance. Now you see over here, let's see over here the interaction with all the moving averages. You see over here, that's your 21 week moving average, 26 week moving average. We are right on the 4 weeks moving average. Over here as resistance, we have your 13 week moving average and your 8 weeks moving average. So that's it. We remain in sideways movement. Remember, we have a gap over here, gap between, well, no, the lower part of the gap, that's your 120, and the higher part of the gap, that's your 157. So that's it. That gap must be filled. So I'm expecting more moves towards the downside. Come over here at the 26 weeks moving average, and then we can go back higher. If we go back higher, we're gonna have like a free trade, because you know that Ethereum is gonna go back towards that $400 resistance. Okay, so that's it. So now let's move on and let's continue. Let's have a look at Litecoin, LTC USD, Litecoin US dollar. Let's have a look the price given to us by GDAX, and over here on weekly charts, what do we have? You see sideways movements for almost let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks. You see 7 weeks of 8 weeks there, that's 2 months, you know, of sideways movement. We remain higher. You see the max high of 52, the peak at $56, and now we remain in a inside week type of candle. Let's have a look over here. What do we have? We have over here a convergence between the 4 weeks moving average and the 8 weeks moving average. And what does it mean? That means that you see that bearish candle, we're gonna have a continuation. Maybe we're gonna have a continuation. So I'm expecting more shorts, more movement towards the short sides, and below $37 we can see the Litecoin going back towards the $30, maybe $25. That's what I'm expecting. Because of what? Because of the rejection of higher prices. You see over here we have your strong bullish candle, but also you can see that's a type of bullish flag formation. You see strong bullish candle, 1-2 weeks towards the downside. Over here you see a close below the 4 weeks moving average. Next a bullish reversal and bullish engulfing. Next a bearish reversal, bearish rejection, and then over here a bullish reversal, close above the 4 weeks moving average and above the 50%. You see above that particular past resistance that now it's acting as a pivot point over here. But over here closer to the 47.50, and next another bearish rejection candle, bearish reversal candle, and boom, inside week type of candle, and then going back lower, close below 4 weeks moving average and 8 weeks moving average, and that's it. So now we remain in an inside week type of candle below those two particular moving averages. And let's have a look on the daily side. And on the daily side you see over here that gonna have a look at the price action. And what can we see? You see over here we are in a particular range. You see your range of 47.45 as resistance and 37.40 as support. You see we're trying to break lower 1 time, 2 times, 3 times. That's the 4th time. And now if you succeed, you have another pivot points regions over here at 34.33, and lower we can go towards the 27 and 25. So that's it. Okay, so I'm expecting more moves towards the downside if we do not reject it, because you see over here we have all of your moving averages on the daily side, your 4 days, 8 days, 13 days, 21 days, 26 days. But look, now we are below the 52 days moving average. Okay, so that's it. Okay, so that's it for your Litecoin. So Litecoin, I'm expecting more moves toward the downside. First of all, sideways movements, a lot of indecision. Next, and let's close. Now over here, XRPUSD. And what do we have over here? That's your Ripple versus the US dollar. You see max resistance at 34 cents. Support over here, now we are at 15 cents. We are below the 4 weeks moving average, and your that's your 8 weeks moving average, and we are going lower. I'm expecting the price of the Ripple to go a little bit lower, to go closer to the 14 cents, maybe 12 cents over here. And what we need to go higher, we need a close above 4 weeks moving average and 8 weeks moving average. And you see over here, then we can go higher. You are forming that's a triangle, a descendants triangle type of formation over here. So we need to go back above the 4 weeks moving average and 8 weeks moving average, and then boom. But you see that Ripple is very appreciated for the center banks. You see they are already collaborating and working with great institutions like the Bank of England and other stuff, and other big banks, Santander, BBVA and stuff like that, and governments. So I'm expecting the Ripple prices to go much higher. Okay, people, so that's it for this week. Time to trade the market and for the market reports. So hope it helps. I hope I'm gonna have a great trading week, and see you next week. Okay, bye.